Welcome to our lesson on titles and SKUs. Now, SKU stands for stock keeping number, and title, well, I'm sure you know what title means. So, this lesson will essentially be about what exactly are the different types of titles that you can use? Why do titles matter? Why invest so much of your time into a good title? And also the benefits of what a good title will give. And also at the end, will be a nice little pro tip on how to exactly craft a perfect title as good as the algorithm likes it. So, to start off with, why do great titles matter? So, a good title is going to be the first impression the buyer sees. So, it's the first thing that they see. You'll catch their attention. A buyer will read a good title and be like, okay, cool, that's good. I want to have a look at the description, or I want to have a look at the photos. Now, another good thing about a good title is that it boosts visibility. Now, remember how we spoke about the algorithm? The algorithm loves the title. If you put everything into a title within the 80 character limit that the buyer wants, that will boost your visibility alongside the keywords that you give. The algorithm will favor you. Now, so what are some strategies for effective titles rather? Make sure that you're clear and concise. Make sure that you prioritize the key details and avoid any unnecessary words that are not relevant to your item. Make sure that you avoid those because that will either skew the algorithm away and push you to a buyer that doesn't want your item if you put something unnecessary in there, or people will just walk past. They're like, what is going on? They just won't look at your item. Make sure that you capitalize and spell correctly. So make sure that the item, it might sound like obvious, guys, but a lot of people don't do this. A lot of people put incorrect spellings. A lot of people, put capital letters in the middle of in words, or, all sorts. Just make sure that your grammar and normal English is correct. That's what matters, guys. Just make sure that is correct, the bare minimum, because that creates, again, professionalism. That's professionalism from your end if you can use the English language correctly. Make sure, this is one thing that I see a lot of students do, is that they put the item's condition in the title. Don't do that. The reason why is because it's a bit of a waste of space, a waste of valuable space of 80-ish characters, which is what is the kind of the limit across most platforms. That condition can be put in the description, as we will mention later on in this module. So make sure that the condition is not in the title, because again, it's a waste of words and you can put it elsewhere. So be clear and concise, capitalize and spell correctly, and skip the condition. Just omit that from your title. That's what I wanted to add. Now, a little bit about buyer psychology. So make sure that you highlight the unique features. So for example, this is, again, if you have spare letters, limited edition or rare find. Now, only use this if the item is limited edition or if it is a rare find. Again, this highlights, writing phrases like limited edition or rare find highlights that the item is unique, but at the same time, if it's not relevant, if you're doing, for example, I don't know, this jacket, this is not limited edition and it is not a rare find, although it is a nice item. Now, you can highlight that it's a nice jacket through different methods, which again we'll mention in the description, but it is not limited edition and it is not rare. So don't put that in unless it is so. Hopefully that makes sense. Create urgency, use phrases like last one or ending soon. Again, only if we are using auctions. Now, this again, we'll be doing in the buy it now versus auctions. This is only applies to eBay. But again, omit those if it's not relevant. Relevancy is the number one thing. Now, these are just extra buyer psychology tips that can apply to listings, but don't add them to everything unless it is true. Again, emphasize benefits. So showcase a standout feature. So for example, fabric or design. For example, let's say an item is, you've got a Burberry silk scarf or a cashmere scarf. Let's say you got a Burberry cashmere scarf. Very beautiful item. In that instance, you should put the fabric within the description, or within the title rather, because people will look for cashmere scarves over, for example, any other. So make sure that you put that within the title, something unique about the item. You want something unique. So emphasize the benefits of the item. So next, we got a little bit of a pro tip for the title. So include keywords. So think like your buyer. What would the buyer search for? Descriptive adjectives to highlight the quality, style, or uniqueness of the item. Test titles again. So again, A to B testing. What do buyers prefer? Do they prefer this type of title? Again, your customer base will be different to what mine is, to what another student is, to what another student is. So test it and make sure that you stay updated. Review and tweak the titles based on trends and preferences. Now, again, this might sound like a massive time kill for you, but it does help. Every now and again, go through your listings. How can I improve the titles? Constant improvements. Now, here are some examples of some great titles. Now, this, again, make sure that you look at the slide that I've got up right now. Brand color, 2 features, again, what's unique about the item, gender and size. For example, these are some examples of some great titles. Lacoste green, full sleeve, quarter zip jumper, size women's L, women's large. Now, the reason why I put L rather than large is, again, because of that character limit. People know what L means. You don't need to state that it's large. So yeah, make sure that you follow this formula, and this is a nice simple way of creating lovely titles. So next we'll talk a little bit about categories and item specifics and measurements again. So make sure that you join the next lesson to learn more about categories, item specifics, and all of that good stuff. So see you then.